lawn take a beating this winter and you're dealing with either thin and patchy grass or big signs of wear and tear similar to my tire ruts here, well, spring overseeding might be the fix. Stay tuned to the end of the video as I'm going to show you how to get amazing results through spring overseeding while going over a few mistakes people make while doing overseeding in the spring, and I'm even going to show you how to control weeds at the same time. Now, the spring is not an ideal time to be doing an overseed on your cool season lawn. And when I say cool season lawn, I mean grass types like turf type tall fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, perennial ryegrass, just to name a few. The fall is widely known to be the best time to be overseeding those grass types, but sometimes a spring overseed is necessary. Like coming out of the winter, your lawn is just weak, thin, and patchy, or you didn't do a fall overseed, had a rough winter, and then your grass is weak, thin, and patchy, or you have areas of winter wear and tear, like ginormous tire ruts, because you park a cherry picker on your wet grass and then you put the emergency brake on, then you pull the trailer out without disengaging the emergency brake. But there are some benefits to doing a spring overseed, like it helps you get over your winter stress in your lawn a lot faster. It helps thin in thin areas of your yard before the summer stress kicks in, and it helps create a thick, dense lawn, which also helps prevent weeds. First thing you want to do before you do a spring overseed is you need to assess the lawn and figure out what your plan of action is. Now, obviously, I have two ginormous tire ruts over here that I need to repair, but I still can walk around the yard and see what else I need to do. Now, if you're going to do an overseed, whether it's spring or fall, you need to mow your grass shorter. We're talking about 2 inches or less, because that will give plenty of time for the new grass seed to start to germinate and not have to compete with tall 4-inch tall grass. So you want to go ahead and mow shorter. Then you need to rake up, power rake, dethatch, whatever, any debris that's in the yard, because obviously through fall and winter, stuff gets trapped in here, like this kind of stuff here, like this stuff here. All this is really loose, but this is going to compete with grass seed and not allow grass seed to grow. Now, if you're dealing with tire ruts or damage like I have here that are a little bit more extreme, it maybe doesn't take all that much effort as you would originally think. Now, if your damage is, we're talking surface level, 1 inch or 2, if that, you can loosen up that soil, put some new topsoil on top of it to level everything out, put down a little bit of grass seed if necessary, some starter fertilizer, and you'll be good to go. Now, if you're dealing with damage like I have here, which is over 3 inches deep, but there's grass growing in here, you don't want this grass to go to waste, so don't go throwing topsoil on this and wasting this grass. What you're gonna wanna do is get an edging tool. You're gonna cut along the sides of the trench or the rut that you have here. Then you're gonna go under it, because you wanna get really good chunks of this grass, fold it over to the side, put new dirt in here, and I'm actually using a mix of classic Tennessee red clay soil with some compost to put a little bit of organic matter in there. And you want to put that up about 1 inch or 2 above the level you need, so that when you put the grass back on it, it allows room for settling, which is going to happen, and that will help level this out. Now, depending on what grass type you have, if you have a spreading grass type like Kentucky bluegrass, you probably don't even need to overseed, but I have turf type tall fescue, so I will put a little bit of seed down to help fill in any remaining bare areas that I wasn't able to fix. Now this, I used a leveling tool. This is not necessary. You can use a 2x4 or something and just try to level it out as best as you can. It'll give you a good idea of where everything lies. Now, when you put the soil, your pieces of sod back on it, eventually it will settle down. Now, you can use a roller or a tamper or something to sort of that process down and start compacting everything a little bit. You don't want a bunch of compaction, because that will stop, that'll hinder some growth and cause a problem down the line, but just enough to get that settling started. But using that leveling tool at least helps even everything out. And now I'm gonna put the soil back on there, or not the soil, but this sod here. Put the sod back over here like such. And you can see it is significantly taller than the ground, so we'll start to tamp that down and move on to that side. That part of the process is over. Both ruts, I'll show you here in a second, are now fixed. They're not perfect, obviously, but they're filled in, the grass is flipped back over, and everything is looking better sort of already. Now the key thing that you want to be sure of is when you do this process, if you're doing this process, if you're having to sort of bring the soil back up, you want to make sure that you don't scalp that area when you start mowing, because remember, you are raising that up above the ground level because you want to allow for settling. So when you're mowing, you potentially could scalp that area. So just be careful when doing your mowing that you don't scalp those areas. Eventually everything will settle, especially if you water, everything will settle down and get back to normal level, and it will be fine here in a little bit. But for at least the beginning, the first month or two, just be cautious not to scalp. Now let's go ahead and get to the start of the show, overseeding.
If you like grass, give this big thumbs up. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe and watch this video every day.
Now for your seed, you want to make sure you are matching your current grass type. If you're not sure what your current grass type is, you can download an app called Picture This. I use it all the time. Pull up a few blades of grass, take a picture, and it will do a pretty good job of identifying what grass you have. I also use it to identify flowers and weeds and various things like that, and it does a really good job. Now for this particular project, I'm using Scott's Thicker Lawn. It is their Southern Gold mix, which is turf type tall fescue. Now I don't really recommend using this type of grass seed because yes, it has some fertilizer in it and it has what they call a soil improver. In reality, you're spending $30 on a bag of grass seed that is only 20-ish% grass seed. This is actually a little bit less than 20% grass seed, and over 80% of it is inert matter, which is the fertilizer and the soil improver. So I always recommend, if you're gonna budget a project like this, put most of the budget onto the grass seed. Go to Site One, the Lesco brand grass seed that they have. It has 0% weed seeds on it, and it is fantastic. Go online, there's lots of retailers online that sell just good, high quality blue tag or better grass seed. So you can spend more money and you're getting more grass seed for your buck versus going to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or wherever, grabbing a bag of Scott's that has a coating on it. Now the coatings are good, it has some disease resistance in there, probably has a little bit of fertilizer in it, but you're also getting less seed for the dollar. Now for the thing that I teased earlier. In the spring, it is not typically recommended to do an overseed because as you apply fertilizer and your soil temperatures warm up, your grass will naturally start to look better, things will start to get thick, and any bare areas may start to fill in on their own. So it is recommended that you put down a pre-emergent to prevent weeds from sprouting in those open areas that will prevent your grass from filling in those gaps or thickening up, things like that. However, if you do have to do an overseed, you cannot put out a traditional pre-emergent like a prodiamine because that will prevent your grass seed from germinating. But there is a product that you can put down at the same time as your grass seed that will allow your seeds to grow and prevent weeds from popping up for about 6 weeks, maybe a little bit more, and kill existing weeds in the lawn. Let me show you. When you're going to your local big box store, look for a product like this. You don't have to just get Scott's. There might be some other brands that sell a similar product, but I got the Scott's here, not sponsored. This Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action is built for seeding. That is the key thing. Don't get anything that says feed and prevent and kill or something like that. Like, you don't want that. You want one that says built for seeding. It prevents weeds for up to 6 weeks, crabgrass and dandelions, a few select others, jumpstarts your grass seed and feeds. How does it do that? It has a pretty good analysis. 21% nitrogen, which is all the top growth, so your grass seed is going to grow. The seed is going to open and start growing because of that 21% nitrogen. 22% phosphorus, is all the root development. That's going to help those roots start diving down, get nice and thick for when the summer comes, because that's the important thing. When the summer comes, you want healthy roots because that will help your grass get through the summer. 4% potassium is an overall health builder for the plant. But how does it prevent weeds and allow your seed to grow? Well, it has this product here, mesotrione. Mesotrione is both a pre and post emergent that is safe for ornamental turf grass. When it says ornamental, that is your turf type tall fescue, your Kentucky bluegrass, your perennial ryegrass. You do not want to use this on Bermuda grass. It will kill your Bermuda grass. Now, it is only 0.08% of this bag, so it's not a lot. That's why it's only up to 6 weeks. But you could go online and buy this generic brand or the concentrated version of Mesotrione. This is Meso 4SC. This is the generic. You can buy a product called Tenacity. They are the exact same thing, but Tenacity is the name brand that you probably have heard of before. And it is 0.40%, or not 0.40, it is 40% Mesotrione. So putting this out, it is teaspoons. So it's not a lot. It's teaspoons of this product per 1,000 square feet. It is the exact same thing. It will kill and prevent weeds and allow your grass seed to grow. So either one of these is fine. If you use this, you're going to need a starter fertilizer. If you use a product like this, it has built-in starter fertilizer, so you're completely fine. So this is sort of an all-in-one. You don't need to buy a separate fertilizer unless you want to. Now, for those feeling a little more advanced, or you are more advanced, you can do something like this. I love using Greene County Fertilizer products. This is their next line, so it's made for homeowners. This is their starter fertilizer, says so right there. 16% nitrogen, 21% phosphorus, 2% potassium. You're going to get amazing green up with your current grass using this, and you're going to get amazing start on your grass seed. But you can mix this and the proper application of Mesotrione. Make sure you know how much you're putting down. Remember, it is teaspoons, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll put down. It is teaspoons of this. You can mix this and this in the same sprayer. Put it out on your grass, and you're going to have an amazing time. But I figured a lot of people are going to go to their local big box store and buy something like this. This next step is the most important step, and if a grass seed project fails, it's because people don't do this one thing, and that is keeping your grass seed moist. Not wet, but moist. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but it is important that you are watering your grass seed at least 2 to 3 times a day. Once starting about 5 to 5:30 in the morning, and between all the zones that run, it goes till about 7 o'clock or so. Maybe not as long, but you get what I'm saying. And then I'll run it again around lunchtime, then I'll run it again after 5 o'clock, and that's about it. Now, if it's a super hot day, which we're in the spring, it shouldn't be, but if you have a day where you creep up into the mid-80s or something like that and it is dry, you may have to water it again at some point. But most of the time, 2 to 3 times is perfectly a good enough amount of water to keep your grass seed moist, because that is going to help it germinate. If you let your grass seed dry out, once you water it that first time, if it starts to dry out, you are going to ruin that grass seed and it will not sprout. So it's important that you put water on your lawn. If you're not willing to do that, you will fail, and you'll have spent all that time and money on something that isn't going to end up working. That is it for this video. We talked about how fixing all your winter damage with overseeding can help revive your lawn and get it ready for the summer before things start to get really intense and hard on it. To get your lawn nice and thick and healthy before the summer stress comes along. We talked about the importance that you can pre-emergent when you put down grass seed, but it has to be Mesotrione, and for cool season grasses only. Do not use Mesotrione on warm season grasses. It could cause damage. But on cool season grasses, Mesotrione is a great pre-emergent, prevents weeds from popping up, but not affecting your seed from growing. Lastly, water and patience is key. Water your lawn, let the grass grow and do its thing. Wait as long as possible before you mow it. You will not be disappointed. You will have a lush lawn going into the summertime with watering and patience, I promise. If you like lawn care content, please subscribe to this channel. If you found this video helpful, like it. If you have any tips or tricks you would like to add, maybe I didn't go over, comment those down below. And if you're doing any spring overseeding, I'd like to know that. Comment as well, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and God bless.